we clarify existing. Do you see my screen or not? Second.
Yes.
We see your the first slide.
No. I need to. What happened? Just a second.
Yes,
It's typically for.
Take your time. Okay.
Do you see second slide or not?
Yes, we can see. Yes, we see. We can see those.
Okay.
But if you start now the presentation, we will not see slide by slide. You will have to start the presentation first and then share the screen.
Yeah.
Or just slide by
now
slide.
Now you see my introduction slide or not?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. And as an introduction, I would like to say that today, commodification of global society is one of the basic trends for development intelligence system, intelligence mechanism for managing innovative project program, and it has been explored. The competency-based approach is considerable as the basic of build a smart intelligence model for managing innovation project and program. That means for assessment and for planning development of the integrated intelligence smart model, we will apply competency-based approach.
But we still see the first slide, the introductory slide. Is that what you want it to be?
No. It's same situation as before.
Yes, as it was before.
I'm sorry, I don't know what happened.
Well, start this F5 presentation first and then share the screen. Maybe something like this. Or just one by one.
Presentation first.
Yes,
Do you see my presentation?
No, we can see the first slide. If you will start the presentation, we will not see it. It's this. Now we can see. Maybe it's.
Do you see second one?
Yes, the second one. Let it be like this. Just don't start.
And could I go to presentation?
If you will now start the presentation, we will not see it. We will just see this for the second slide.
If it's possible, I use this.
Yes,
Okay?
please. Yes,
I'm
definitely.
sorry for that. It happens very often. And we spend a lot of time for smart education, and we organize for the last 2 years only 4 conference which concern the smart tools, smart mechanism, and smart education of society, of city, etc. And we propose competency-based approach, the key approach for development smart intelligence model for managing innovative projects and programs. We select 5 group of competent smart intelligence model for managing innovative projects. This is the model of emotional intelligence, and we published several articles according to that. Social intelligence, we just touch this topic and we start discuss it. Cognitive intelligence, the same we will discuss a little bit later. Business intelligence and technical intelligence. Each group of competence include in the integrated smart intelligent model will be defined. And the key purpose of our research is the development comprehensive intelligence model, which we can use for managing on the level of society, country, organization, and projects. We look as the example of the case, the smart intelligence model, which we built for the double degree program, which we running 6 years ago with the Dortmund University of Applied Science. And now
we can still see your second slide. Is it
second,
okay?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Do you see that?
Third. Yes.
Good. And we look on the basic challenges why smartification of society is very important. We use this hypothesis that the smartification equal projectification. It's a globally trend which we apply for our research. According to this global trend, we look on the accelerator based on the convergence of knowledge and technology, quantum computing and internet communication, digitalization of society and creating digital footprint at each level, business, emotional, and artificial intelligence as a part of global integrated intelligence model, development of blockchain and information security, cloud and of technology, and agile transformation with project and program management, etc. And look on the three global trends which we have today. We transform our society from the rational economy to behavioral economy, green economy, and circular economy. And today we even organize some specific discipline in our master program, which concerning behavioral economy, green economy, and circular economy. And in the future, we would like to establish this specific master program according transformation our society to this economy. We have a good example from the Western country, and we applied this experience. The basic model, which we developed with the different kind of competences, include 5 groups of existing intelligence model. It's emotional intelligence, social intelligence, cognitive intelligence, business intelligence, and technical intelligence. Each model we define through the basic competences, because we using competence approach. And for emotional intelligence, we select key competence as result orientation, initiatives, flexibility, and self-confidence. For social intelligence, we apply next competences like empathy, influence, networking, and distributed team leadership. It's also, in this case, significant to cognitive competence, system thinking, and pattern recognition. As a cognitive intelligence competencies, we define key of the effectiveness in acquisition of knowledge, creativity and innovation, artificial intelligence, modeling in an organization. As a business intelligence competences, we apply competence like strategy, culture and value, planning and control, opportunity and risk management. As a technical competence, we defined the vision of the product and result, technical, technological and organizational in implementation of the project, work and condition of uncertainty and innovation, clear definition of contracts and work with the context. We have experience. I spent maybe 20 years for development global competence system for certification project manager, for certification of innovation, project management and IT in Agile. That means we use this experience up to now in IPMI, International Project Management Association. We certified more near the 2 million people from 80 countries. Of course, this experience for assessment of competence, for tool and technique, we apply in developing this model. We use the case study with a double degree program in project management in Kyiv National University. And we find all these 5 set of competences in one integrated intelligence model. And we define benchmark where we have be successful in project or program management of innovation. And we assess the existing level of our team. And in this case, we have next slide and the result of assessment. And only one competence, team leadership, being below than the reference level, and that means we organize special training courses in our team. We call it distributed team leadership, and we put it in our consortium website with the 10 University of Europe, and apply this course for all universities. And the result of this training, we have a different picture where we have existing competences of our team more than all reference level or benchmark. That means the project or readiness to the project team for the successful implementation exists. And as a conclusion, now I would like to say that the proposed smart intelligence competence model for managing innovation project and program includes five domains. Each domain is defined by some competences and tools and techniques for assessment of these competences in real practice. And smartification process gives us possibility to develop intelligence mechanism for the smart model. The support of the success and innovation project, the benchmark level of competences is used for this case. The example of program for the preparation of master with double degree diploma confirms the effectiveness of proposed model. The given step-by-step process model follow the successfully carry out innovation project. I would like to say thank you very much, and this is our team. As Natalia told me, it's a team of professors. I'm sorry.
Yes, thank you so much.
Only Victoria have not defend Doctor of Science because we have not possibility to do it time. But now we reorganize our doctor defense body, and I believe in Lviv Polytechnica we approved this doctor defense in artificial intelligence and in one more specialty I have to remember. And 26th of May we will provide our expert advisory board of Ministry of Education, and we will approve maybe next couple doctorate advisory board. I don't know. Natalia, are you prepared the proposal for the doctorate board? No?
Of course, yes.
Yes, I have not seen it. I have not seen it. Maybe on the next our meeting we will approve.
The next conference will be in Kharkov, and we are welcome to Kharkov, not online, indeed.
No.
Realize this dream.
As you remember,
thank you very much.
Kharkov is my native city.
Yeah.
I defense Doctor of Science in Radio Electronic University. At the same time with Natalia, as I remember.
Yes, of course I remember. Thank you very much. Thank you. It was very interesting and global and really actual theme because we are dreaming now to the future and light future. Thank you very much. And
thank you very much. Thank you very much for your attention. See you next time. Maybe not online.
Yes, we hope so that it will be not online anymore. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Professor. Thank you very much. I would like to go to our next presentation, next topic. It's the influence of digital technologies on the labor market of HR specialists, and presented by Nestor, Shpak, Liana, Maznyk, Zoriana, Dvulit, Nadiia, Seliuchenko, Olha, Olena, Dragan, and Kateryna, Doroshkevych. Are presenters here with us?
Yes, I'm here.
Yes, you are here. Okay, thank you so much, Liana. Please, the floor is yours. You can start as soon as you're ready.
Yes, thank you. Thank you. Let me present a study on the topic influence of digital technologies on the labor market of HR specialists, conducted by a team of authors. Our study aims to determine the impact of digital technologies on the labor market of HR specialists. To achieve this aim, as a task, it is proposed to develop the mining data tools to create a methodology for monitoring the labor market of HR specialists. Methodological approach to study the impact of digital technologies on the balance of the labor market of HR professionals are proposed. The proposed study is based on data mining tools as a methodology and process to identify large data sets that accumulate on various information resources. These data are necessary for our study to make decisions in the sphere of impact on the labor market of HR professionals. The novelty of our study is the development in the HR, the combination of data mining approaches. The main stimulators of the implementation of digital technologies in personnel management were identified during the study. The dynamics of the number of vacancies of HR specialists in January 2020, October 2021 is characterized by a growing trend until June 2021 in the study period. Such traditions are explained by long-term quarantine restrictions, reduction in the number of jobs due to the pandemic, especially in the field of small and medium-sized businesses. Picture number 6 presents the generalized dynamics of vacancies of HR specialists of all categories. The growing dynamics of the taxonomic indicator indicates common trends in individual occupational groups. Dynamics of the number of registered unemployed HR specialists by professional composition in the study period have significant fluctuations. Most of the unemployed in the field of HR professionals are women over 55 years of age. The dynamics of the taxonomic unemployment indicator is characterized by instability as well as the dynamics of the taxonomic vacancy indicator for the study period. By imposing the two graphical representations of taxonomic indicators, unemployment and vacancies, it is possible visually assess the degree of balance of the labor market of HR professionals. This research on the impact of digital technologies on the labor market of HR professionals has allowed to study digital trends in the creation of new operational processes in personnel management, substantiate the conditions for the implementation of digital technologies, including ensuring the appropriate level of digital competence, determine the content of the main stimulants that contribute to the implementation of digital technologies in personnel management. Use the technology of statistical methods, data mining, that allows scaling the variability of the labor market of HR specialists to reduce to a specific scale. Assess the impact of these stimulants by studying the market of HR professionals. Thank you for your attention. Do you have any questions?
Thank you, Liana, so much. Well, I do, but I shall ask our guests first and colleagues, and then I will ask my question. Please, if there are any questions for Liana, then be our guests. Well, if not, then maybe I shall ask Liana, how do you feel? Is there a future for HR specialists for such a job?
Absolutely, absolutely, because a lot of processes in HR management, from recruiting to exit interview, now we have digital technologies, for example, parsing of sites and a lot of, and we use a lot of programs like Hurma for using for computational of our processes in HR management.
So maybe some changes should be applied because of new technologies.
Remote job, for example, remote job. Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
It's very useful. Thank you.
Well, actually, yes. Okay. Thank you so much, Diana. Maybe more questions for our presenters? Okay, if not, then thank you very much for your presentation. Well, you give us a hope that HR job will be still a good job, and we will, if someone wants to, he can be his best.
The main source of enterprises.
Yes, it is. Thank you so much, Liana.
Thank
Thank you so much. So we can go to our next presenter, and it's Nestor, Shpak, Kateryna, Doroshkevych, Zoriana, Dvulit, Dzvonyk, and Andriy Bosak. And the title of the presentation is Intelligent Systems for Assessment and Development of Personal Mentoring Study. Kateryna, are you going to be a presenter? We should hear you.
Sorry,
Oh, yes.
I've been on mute. So yeah, I would like to be a presenter on this topic, Intelligent System for Assessment and Development of Personal and Mentoring Study. And first of all, I'd like to thank you for invitation and for accepting our article. So basically, we are not the specialists in computer science, so we are economists, but we would like to show you the high demand that we have now in economics and management of enterprise. It's according to mentoring study that we provide and according to modern trends that we have now in economics. So yeah, so the article investigates the intellectual system intended for evaluation and development of personnel of the enterprise. So basically it's intelligence HR system and emphasizes the insufficient level of their development in the conditions of mentoring implementation. To straighten the motivation impact on employees and increase the level of enterprise management in general. In the article proposed to develop intelligent system in direction of mentoring assessment, for which an appropriate evaluation procedure has been formed. As a part of the proposed procedure, the scorecard is recommended, which provides for assessing the level of mentoring process, identifying the effectiveness of mentoring, to identify the difference in the level of involvement in the mentoring process of various structural units of enterprise or different departments of enterprise. The articles provide posterior compression according to the two key ICD, and practical approbation of the order took place in VFIT cluster, where are the minor difference in the level of mentoring as a result. So we identified. So we set following goals for our research. So first, we did research of intelligence HR system. Then we tried to identify areas for improvement of intelligence HR system. Then to develop the system, design it to assess mentoring. And then we set some recommendation for a system of indicators to assess the level of mentoring process in the enterprise and to identify the effectiveness of mentoring. And also we did the practical approbation, as I already told, basis on the VFIT cluster. So let's move to goal number one. It was the research of intelligent systems. So I guess we all know that intelligent system provides the standardized methodical approach to solving important and complex problem and allows us to get the consistent and reliable result over time. And they widely use it in their enterprise management for planning, scheduling, or product development projects, the loading of production capacities, and manufacturing enterprises, and many other goals. And also, it's widely used in HR, and it's very popular now because we all know that it's human resources are one of the most important resources on the enterprise. And the goal number two was to identify areas for improvement of intelligence HR systems. And the modern intelligence HR system is a complex of technologies that automate the facilities work with personnel, ranging from everyday data accounting, ending with strategic decision on the development of the enterprise. At the same time, mentoring process as the personal training for employees remained outside the functionality of the intelligence system. They have a significant impact on the development of knowledge in the enterprise. And the process of evaluation, it is possible to identify the effectiveness of mentoring, the level of involvement of employees, its significance acceptably in view of specific conditions in the implementation of production and economic activities. Thus, we consider the evaluation of mentoring important for the implementation of effectiveness management enterprise in the condition of innovative development. And management decision of activation, formation of mentoring program, its development, termination of implementation at the enterprise, etc., depends on its results. That is why the evaluation process requires systematicity and structurized and proper information support. Consider the process of assessing mentoring of their methods of training, mastering new professional skills, business qualities of employees, the level of HR management. On their basis, we will form the architecture that could complement the functionality of intelligent system designed into the evaluation and development of the personnel. So we recommend following procedure for assessing of mentoring activities in the enterprise. So first, we have to determine the purpose and objective of mentoring assessment. Then we will need the information report. Then selection of methods intended for assessing the mentoring of the enterprise. Then we would like to do evaluation and generalization of the results. So as I already told you, we developed a scorecard, the system of indicators intended for evaluation of mentoring activities in the enterprise. So the scorecard we create from two parts. First part is assessment of level of mentoring process on the enterprise, including four indicators: mentoring plan execution level, the level of expenses for the mentoring activities, employees loyalty index to mentoring, and also management loyalty index. You can see the indicator, the essence, calculation, criteria values. And the second part is evaluation of effectiveness of mentoring in the enterprise. So it included 5 indicators. You also can see it here. So it's level of stability of the company's personnel, its level of personal development of employees, of involvement of personal innovation activity, and the level of quantitative standing of the enterprise states, average of goal measuring, the level of increased productivity production in the enterprise. And in order to summarize the result of assessment, we propose to identify the integral level of indicators, taking into account their weight. Later, so the practical approbation, as I told you, on basis of the Lytvyn cluster. We all know this cluster, so there's different enterprises. So basically, they all have experience providing mentoring activity, and have been researched for 4 enterprises in the cluster number 1, 2, 3, 4. And here you can see the result, the values of the indicator intended for evaluation of mentoring activities, and the weight of indicators that have been chosen by experts. And we also did the Tukey. We also used the Tukey criteria for comparing the involvement of personnel in the mentoring activity. So we based the obtained values for meaning of indicators and weight for enterprises of Lytvyn cluster in the equation 1. And as a result, we can see the different level of the integral indicator of mentoring activity have been different in different enterprises. So for enterprises number 1, it was 1.74, then enterprises number 2, 1.76, enterprises number 3, 1.67, and the enterprise number 4, 1.79. And we compared the levels of mentoring in the enterprises Lytvyn cluster using the online service, which conduct posterior compression according to Tukey criteria, and we can see the significant difference between the involvement in mentoring on each enterprise. And as a conclusion, I can say that we would like to develop our study, and the further research should be explored the possibility of combining the development order of mentoring evaluation with intelligent AI system, which can help managers of enterprises by by providing mentoring and classes.
So much, Kateryna. So maybe there are some questions for our presenter.
Yeah, thank you for your attention. If there are any questions, I would like to.
Let me ask.
Yes, Liana.
Kateryna, what do you think about type of onboarding like buddying, maybe like the similar mentoring? What about it?
So as I know, there is the difference between buddying, mentoring, coaching, and it's according to the procedure to provide it. So mentoring, it's more like inside the enterprise. So it's very popular in the IT companies. They create their own school for teaching the employees, and also they can help the new employees to be involved in the enterprise culture, in the enterprise work, in the enterprise society in general. So that's why like the mentoring, it's more like, it's not like professional study for the employees. It's more like the study about the companies, about the social life.
Thank you. Thank you.
I would like to ask if you please, so your research has, as a result, says, was the mentoring good or very good, let's say? Is there any recommendations after your results? Can there be given any recommendations?
Of course, it's possible to develop the level of the mentoring activity with a T cluster, but it should be like very more carefully researched. So my goal was just to evaluate it and to compare the level of involvement, like to did the practical approach of my recommendation of my model evaluation model. And then it would be good to did very carefully research of each enterprise.
Okay, so your research says please improve your mentoring, let's say, and each company has its own way to improve their mentoring. So I see, I understand. Okay, thank you so much. I understand. Maybe
Thank
more
you.
questions?
Well, thank you for your attention.
Okay, so no more questions. Yes, Kateryna, thank you so much for the presentation. Now we go for our next presenter. It's the Applied Intelligence System for Support for Public Partnership in Foreign Economic Activity. And the presenters, well, the authors are Olha, Pyroh, Nestor, Shpak, Marianna, Tomych, Marta, Voronovska, and Halina Kovtok. Who would be the presenter? Please let us know.
Here, I'm Marianna Tomych. Hello,
Hello.
everyone. One moment. I would like to start my presentation. Let's talk about public-private partnership, namely about applied intelligence system support for public-private partnership in foreign economic activity. One moment. Abstract. The article deals with the following applied intelligence system designed to manage national economies: artificial neural network, expert system, hybrid intelligence system, fuzzy system, genetic algorithm, etc. Besides, it specifies the essential components of support for public-private partnership in foreign economic activity. These components associated with regulatory, institutional, analytical, financial, and organizational support can enhance the national economy, improve economic and social infrastructure, and solve pressing economic and social problems. It's advisable to apply morphological analysis and relevant online algorithm to maintain a rational order of the formation and thus identify a set of significant stages of the analysis. Practical validation of the method has allowed one to form the following sequence of support for public-private partnership in foreign economic activity: financial, regulatory, organizational, institutional, analytical support. Keywords: it's public-private partnership, foreign economic activity, intelligence system, support, and morphological analysis. The aim of the study, first name is a research of intelligence system designed to manage national economies, artificial neural network, expert system, hybrid intelligence system, fuzzy system, genetic algorithm, etc. Second aim is identification, specifies the essential components of support for public-private partnership in foreign economic activity. And next, application morphological analysis and relevant online algorithm to maintain a rotational order of the formation and thus identify a set of significant stage of the analysis. And the last aim is a practical approbation of morphological analysis supporting a public-private partnership in foreign economic activity. Section of the article: introduction, related works, method, result, discussion, experimental, and conclusion. First section is introduction. Intelligence system are information computing system with the necessary knowledge base, an algorithm of action, intellectual support, software and instrumentation, algorithm, and mathematical support, as a result of which the system is able to work without the help of the specialist operator responsible for making the decisions about an action. They are widely employed in various types of economic activity. For instance, decision support intelligence systems are used in planning and monitoring activities, forecasting and classification of events, processing of natural language text, quasi-summarization and quasi-annotation, and other. Intelligence manufacturing system enable timely change in the manufacturing environment. Product abrogates change in manufacturing system configuration under the influence of global competition and consumer tastes. Intelligence systems have not become widespread in the management of the national economy. Nevertheless, the potential for their use exists in the implementation of public-private partnership after PPP projects in a foreign economic activity. The latter is aimed at attracting the necessary investment investment resources, enhancing innovation activity and development infrastructure. Related works. Public-private partnership is cooperating between the state and business structure, namely the actors in the economic activity of Ukraine and the foreign actors in economic activity, including the actors in the economic activity of Ukraine with foreign states. It's one of the conditions for attracting the necessary investments, enhancing innovation in the economy, developing economic and social infrastructure, and solving economic and social problems. Tarash, L.I. and Petrova I.P. have as to the readiness of the national economy for PPP, taking into account the regulatory framework, institutional structure, functional maturity, invested climate, financial mechanism, and the value of the subnational adjustment factors. The obtained result confirms the functional readiness maturity for PPP in foreign economic activity. Therefore, it's crucial to further develop the regulatory framework, institutional structure, functional maturity, investment climate, and current functional mechanism as the components of public-private partnership. These and other problems in the public-private partnership development have drawn increased attention to the issue of PPP support in foreign economic activity. Consequently, the leading economists, Fedulova L.I., Tarash L.I., Petrova A.P., Stepanova O.V., Pavlyuk K.V., Pavlyuk S.M., Dubok I.P. also have identified the essential components of PPP project. This includes institutional support, regulatory support, analytical support, organizational support, financial support. It's important to analyze each of these components more in detail. Related work. The components of public-private partnership support in foreign economic activity are presented in Figure 1. Using the recommendations provided by the other, one should use the following procedure for supporting PPP in foreign economic activity. Regulatory support, elaborating the regulatory framework of PPP as well as public-private partnership development concepts. Institutional support, establishing specialized units for public-private partnership management, financial support, analyzing financial tools, progress of financing projects, existing source of funding and attracting new ones, and organizational support, creating an effective system of public-private partnership management. That describes procedure, however, does not provide for analytical support. Next section is method. Morphological analysis has been applied to maintain a rotation order of supporting a public-private partnership in foreign economic activity. The process consisted of the following stage: identifying and analyzing the problem to specify individual components, the composition, searching for a similar problem and option as for its solution, comparing alternative solution to the problem by studying alternative combination of certain management decisions and selecting an optimal alternative decision to solve the problem. Stages of morphological analysis of components of PPP support in foreign economics in Figure 2. The problem, the composition is presented in the form of morphological table of PPP The problem decomposition is presented in the form of a morphological table of public-private partnership in foreign economic activity, Table 1. It includes critical parameters of public-private partnership configuration, the goals of public-private partnership in foreign economic activity, F1, support of public-private partnership in foreign economic activity, F2, and its components, F3. Next section, experimental. It's also essential to calculate the probabilities of alternative using the Bayesian equation system with two characterizing parameters with two alternatives each. Emphasis should be placed on so that meet the criteria of rationality, Table 1. It follows that one should exclude irrational configuration from all the possible ones using the interoperability matrix, Table 2. It's also essential to calculate the probabilities of alternative using the Bayesian equation system with two characterizing parameters with two alternatives each. Result and discussion. Calculators have been made with the help of an online algorithm of the Bayesian equation system. the input data of the modeling, the interoperability matrix of F1 and F1 and F2, sorry, result of calculated probabilities of using the critical parameters depending on the critical parameters are presented in table 2. Table 4, sorry. As can be seen from the obtained results, one should pay considerable attention to financial and non-financial institutional, public-private partnership management policy, management structure, public-private financing mechanism when forming the components of support for public-private partnership in foreign economic activity. And conclusions. The article analysis applied intelligence system design to manage national economies, artificial neural network, expert system, hybrid intelligence system, fuzzy system, genetic algorithm, knowledge basis system. It specifies the essential components of support for public-private partnership in foreign economic activity. That can enhance the national economy, improve economic and social infrastructure, and solve threatening economic and social problems. They are follows regulatory support, elaborating the regulatory framework of public-private partnership as well as public-private partnership development concepts, institutional support, establishing specializing units for public-private partnership management, financial support, analyzing financial tools, progress of financing projects, existing source of funding and attracting new ones, organizational support, creating an effective system of public-private partnership management. Both morphological analysis and online algorithm have been applied to determine the sequence of the implementation as well as of the elements. The process consists of the following stage: identifying and analyzing the problem to specify individual components, decomposition, searching for a similar problem and option for a solution, comparing alternative solution to the problem by studying alternative combination of certain management decision, selecting an optimal alternative decision designed to solve the problem. As a result, the procedure for supporting public-private partnership in foreign economic activity should be the following: financial support, regulatory support, organizational support, institutional support, and analytical support. Further research should aim to study how one can use software projects to optimize morphological analysis so it's expert system. And next section is a reference. Thank you very much for listening.
Thank you so much. Marianna, maybe there are some questions for our presenter.
Yes.
Let me ask.
Yes, please, Liana.
I want to ask about the method of calculation probabilities in your presentation and how to calculate this one. How thematically or maybe
One second. A calculation have been made with the help of the online algorithm of the Bayesian equation system and morphological analysis.
Are you satisfied with an answer, Liana?
Absolutely. Yes,
okay. And I wanted to ask as well, Marianna, are you consider creating your own software, or you will use some software which is already existed, but you just adjust it to your problem? Is it going to be a new software or an existing software?
Existing software.
You will use some existing software. Okay, I hope we will see the example how you used it, and maybe we shall use this, might consider using such software as well. If there are some questions for Marianna, then please. Okay, if no more questions, Marianna, thank you so much for the presentation. Thank you very much. And now we shall go, have a nice day. Now we shall go for our next presenter. It's about the parallel algorithms assessment using of image segmentation quality in medicine. The the presenters, the authors are Lesa Mochurat, Halina Lema, and Roxolana Vilhutska. Do we have presenters here? Halina?
Yes. Hello.
Yes, Halina. Thank you. Hello. Glad to see you. Glad to hear you. Oh, you shared your presentation. Thanks a lot. Then please start the presentation.
Yeah, apparently authors of this research paper have huge technical problems, so I helped them to present. I think there is no problem because this work is really brilliant, so it deserves to be presented. So let's start. First of all, the relevance of this research is connected to the increase in medicine data quantity and image resolution requirements due to the modern medicine development, which leads to necessity of strong computing resources and huge computer memory amount during the appropriate task model. Semantic segmentation in medicine implements assessment functions in diagnostics. But however, there is always a human factor that can lead to a great numbers of mistakes. And such situation is critically because it interrupts the diagnostic process. And it, of course, is connected to the life and health risks. In this case, authors believe that a parallel algorithm is a way of minimizing these problems and boosting the total processing of medical data. That is why the topical subject of work, efficiency determination of parallel algorithm methods of biomedical image segmentation, is being investigated in this research. As was mentioned before, that modern medicine needs technological solutions that are going to help doctors to diagnose the patients. And in this diagnostic, biomedical images play an important role because they visualize internal structures of the human body's objects. And this allows to determine the course of diseases on early stages of diseases, such as cancer, atherosclerosis, and many others. And they cannot be determined by human, as I said before, on the early stages. And there are different criteria for how we can classify these images. And each of these divisions is provisional and unambiguous answer that will meet all needs does not exist yet. So for instance, classification criteria can be method of obtaining images, image type, and dimension. And the aim of the research is to study the effectiveness of parallel algorithms for biomedical image segmentation methods. Namely, in this research were implemented the vinegar method, Sobel's filter, and Kenny H detector. The research objects are a process of the biomedical semantic segmentation of images using artificial intelligence methods, and the efficiency of the segmentation methods parallelization on the graphic processors. The research subjects are methods and machine learning tools for semantic segmentation of medical images, methods and segmentation algorithms parallelization tools on graphic processors. So, the task of the study can be divided into the following stages. The first stage is subject area analysis, and this stage includes the study of existing scientific papers on this topic, ready solutions review of information system, biomedical data study sets, their relevance, restriction imposed on them, the format in which they are stored, determination of the initial data to be issued by the developed information system. The next stage is design of information system that performs several tasks, accepts biomedical images, pre-processes, segments them using the OTSO method, Sober filter, watershed, k-means, performs semantic segmentation using a trained UNet model CNN. For the latter provides as a result not only a segmented image, but also estimates of the quality of this segmentation on the basis of the reference, and compares the parallel methods relative to the consistent, all but semantic segmentation. CODA technological research is the third stage of this research, and its solution in research on this topic, review of mathematical and software that will be used in the development of information system, software product testing, and analysis of results. Let's proceed with theoretical basis. The system developed in the work consists of several components that can be narrowed down to two main ones. The first is segmentation using the OTSA method, the sober filter, and the Kenny boundary detector. And the second component is a semantic segmentation, which is implemented using the UNet architecture. The main idea of the OTSA method is to find a threshold value that will minimize the variance within the class. Variance is weighted sum of two classes, following this formula, where omega-0 and omega-1, two classes possibility, object and tint. T stands for class dividing threshold, and classes deviation, and also weights calculation with L histogram following the next formula. Importantly, minimizing variance within one of the classes is the same as maximizing interclass variance as presented in Formula 2, and also complementing formulas below. Generalized algorithm includes next steps. The first, calculate the histogram and probability of each intensity level, then set initial approximations, then passing all possible threshold values, that means from 1 to the maximum intensity, update omega I and mu I, and calculate the dispersion. Maximal values of dispersion are received in the iteration process and its desired threshold values. The Sobel's filter is a method of edge detection that uses a gradient, and the Sobel's filter works by calculating the image intensity gradient at each pixel within the image. It finds the direction of greatest increase from light to dark and the rate of change in this direction. The edge selection algorithm is also a gradient method using a first-order derivative and consists of 5 steps. The first one, apply a Gaussian filter. The second, find the intensity gradient, Sobel filter. The third, apply non-maximum suppression. Fourth, apply a double threshold. And the last stage is trace the edges with hysteresis. Because edge detection results are easily affected by noise of different nature in the image, it is very important to filter out noise to prevent erroneous detection, as presented in Formula 3, and show the equation for the size of the Gaussian filter by the following equation. The next aspects, that non-maximum suppression is a technique of thinning the edges, which is used to find places with the sharpest changes in intensity. Algorithm of each pixel on the gradient image. The first, comparison of the force of the current pixel edge with the pixel force level in the positive and negative directions of the gradient. And if this edge strength level of the current pixel is the highest compared to other pixels with the same direction, for example, a pixel that is directed in the y direction will be compared to the pixel above and below it on the vertical axis, and the value will be preserved. Otherwise, this value will be discarded. The previous filters have been applied to the image to detect true edges, but there may still be noise or false edges along the edges. The true threshold filter uses high and low thresholds in the image to identify strengths and weaknesses. If the pixel value is greater than the high threshold, it is marked as a strong edge. If the pixel value is less than the upper threshold, but greater than the low threshold, it is marked as a weak edge. And if the pixel value is less than the low threshold, the pixel is completely discarded. This filter is used to eliminate the last residual noise. In addition to detecting boundaries, all 4 previous filters have filtered out the noise that was present in the image. Because there may be some edges that have been very heavily filtered, and hysteresis filter makes one last pass over the image and connect the edges that should have been connected. Using the strong boundaries defined by the double threshold filter, the hysteresis filter passes through the image using a 3x3 matrix that connects the weak boundaries adjacent to the strong boundaries. The re-establishes the boundaries that should have been detected but were rejected by aggressive strong filtration. Upon completion of this filter, the boundary detection was performed properly. Let's proceed with research results. The first, that semantic segmentation is the task of clustering parts of an image that belong to the same class of objects. It can be considered a prediction at the pixel level because each pixel in the image is classified according to class. Deep neural networks are one way to solve this problem, and the most important step is to train the network using a backpropagation algorithm. This algorithm can be described by the following steps. Step 1. Initialization of all filters and parameters or scales by random values. And step 2. The network takes the training image and at the input passes it on all layers, and at the output gets the probability of each of the classes. Step 3. Calculate the total error on the source layers, sum of all classes according to this formula, where E from X and theta is the mistake function which determines the error between the desired output and calculated neural network at the input for many pairs of inputs and outputs and parameter values theta. Step 4. Use the error backpropagation method to calculate the error gradients for all weights in the network and use the gradient descent or variations to update all parameters and weights to minimize the original error. For normal gradient descent, this formula is used. One or another. Step 5. Repeat steps 2 to 4 for all the images in training set. One of the most common architectures of convolutional neural network for biomedical images semantic segmentation is UNet. As a result, the main functionality of the information system is given in the table 1. Let's take a look at this table. Here we have that this information system works with data in the following way. It receives an image input and outputs of the processed image. Image preprocessing. This includes that system UNet preprocesses the images according to the requirements of the method that will be used for its processing. Then neural network training for semantic segmentation. In this aspect, the system trains the neural network on preprocessed input data, outputs, metric values used to evaluate semantic segmentation and a model which scales as a file. Let's take a look on other aspects, for instance, OTSO method. And here, UNet system performs segmentation using the OTSO method and gives the results of acceleration according to the serial and parallel algorithms. Sobel filter, the system uses to give results of acceleration according to serial and parallel algorithms. And Kenny boundary detector. To deal with this task, the system performs segmentation and outputs the acceleration results according to a serial and parallel algorithm. Let's proceed with table 2. It presents the acceleration of the parallel algorithm for the OSO method according to the number of pixels fed to the input. It's important to note that acceleration is the ratio of the execution time of the parallel algorithm to the execution time of sequential algorithm. In the case of GPU used for research in this paper, the number of CUDA cores is 96. The results for the Sobel filter are presented in table 3, and the results for the Gani boundary detector are presented in table 4. So here we can see the results of implementation of OTSO algorithm. And now the results and comparative characteristics of serial and parallel Sobel filter algorithm, and results and comparative characteristic of the sequential and parallel algorithms of the Kani boundary detector. Here, the figure 1 shows a graph of segmentation estimation according to each epoch of neural network training. From this, we can make a conclusion that as the value of the Sorensen's index decreases, the so-called losses in neural network training which means that the accuracy of segmentation increases during the training and losses approaches 0. Now table 5, and it's important because it presents a comparative characteristic of serial and parallel algorithms unit neural network training. And here on the figure 2, we can take a look at an example of segmentation using a neural network, namely UNet, and reference segmentation for experimental imaging. As a result, the image segmentation in medicine is a challenge that needs new and better solutions over time. It is relevant because it helps to identify the basic structures of the human body with the help of images that represent them, which increases the accuracy and speed of diagnosis and reduces the risks to human life and health. The number of biomedical images is constantly growing, and the size and resolution of such images is also increasing and improving. This leads to the need for large computing and hardware resources if used sequential algorithms. This problem can be solved or minimized by using parallel algorithms on GPUs. So thank you for attention. Here, authors present the list of references.
Thank you, Helena. Maybe our guests and colleagues have some questions for the presenter.
Let me ask.
Yes, please.
I want to ask about differences between semantic segmentation and classical clustering analysis, like a nearest neighbor, Mahalanobis distance.
Yeah, thank you for the question. But as I said before the presentation, I am not the author of this research paper. I just help to present because authors, they have technical problems to connect today. So excuse me for that.
Okay, maybe, Liana, maybe authors will be able to get back to us later. Then we shall ask them questions. I have a question as well, but I will wait for our authors to join us. Okay, thank you so much, Helena. Thank you for the presentation. I hope we will see authors later. Now it's the next presentation can be started. It's Andriy Vasylyuk and Taras Bosyuk with peculiarities of building a personal finance management system. Who would be the presenter?
Yeah, I will be.
Okay, then please.
Yes. Thanks. Sorry, share screen. Okay.
Yes, we can see your screen. Yes.
Yeah.
Your presentation.
Okay. Good day, dear colleagues. The topic of my report is peculiarities of building a personal finance management system. An increase in wages very often does not lead to an increase in free funds. Costs and requirements for services and goods are growing. It's quite useful to have a tool that will really assess the situation with cash flow. You can save money without knowing the real picture of your expenses. In any case, starting a habit of managing and controlling personal finances is a good choice for the first important step towards balanced costs and significant savings. It is important to understand that budget planning helps to avoid many problems. Unplanned expenses, budget gaps, etc. Planning will be especially important for those who have some loans or debts, or for those who need to save a certain amount of money as quickly as possible. With the planning tool, you can see the real picture, save on unnecessary expenses, and get more free money as a result. Rapid globalization and the high pace of life in modern society make a lot of demands on people. Therefore, we must control various areas of our life, including financial. Moreover, finance and the economy are based not only on the life of an individual, but on the whole country and world as well. The requirements for control are increasing. It becomes impossible to keep track for everything and keep a lot of information in your head at the same time. However, it is a loss of control over finances that leads to the most negative consequences of many endeavors and also causes psychological pressure. That is why now more than ever it is important to simplify and automate the control of the costs. This problem is relevant for many generations. So many areas have been created, which are actively researched and developed. Among them are financial management, economic, cybernetics, introduction of innovative technologies, etc. Financial advisor Eric Tyson in his book Personal Finance lists the main shortcomings that occur to people in this area. However, Eric Tyson notes that he himself made almost every of the following mistakes. Here is a list of the causes of major disasters in personal finance. First is a lack of personal financial planning is a characteristic feature of most families. Not many of them pay proper attention to the planning and budgeting for personal cash flows. Next, it's irrational cost. Even every rich person can become insolvent of his or her expenses, either exceed or are practically at the level of income for certain period. Third is irrational purchases using consumer loans. A very common cause of personal budget tensions is the purchase of expensive non-investment items using consumer credit. Four, permanent postponement of the moment of pension saving creation. Nobody wants to be in the state of today's average pensioner, but for some reason, most people postpone the initial moment of creating personal pension savings, deciding that they will do it tomorrow, next month, year, etc. Most of these people consider themselves young enough to have such savings. The presence on the market of quite attractive and complex financial products with a highly inflated domestic price. In modern conditions of financial products development in the market, not only price and qualitative, but also financial methods of competition are used. This means that some products contain a complex price structure consisting of many tranches, fixed and variable components. Finding out the true price of such a product is sometimes difficult and often impossible without specific financial calculations. Lack of conclusions from previous experience and learning outcomes. Even some professionals in the field of management, marketing and finance, who in order to increase the sales of their own company invent the most sophisticated methods, sometimes in the market behave like irrational consumers. Even the most rational consumers of these managers have families that sometimes consist of other irrational consumers. Next, it's making decisions based on emotions. This reason is often the basis for the collapse of personal finances. Many people make purchases under the influence of emotional impulses. Often they buy extra impressions instead of the purchase object, when more often when the impression is the purchase process itself worth thinking about what we buy, object, impression, or purchase process. Next is making consumer decisions without dividing information into essential and insignificant. Influencing professional design, marketing, advising gimmicks on consumer behavior after leads to consumer decision without prior analysis of the materiality of the motives. Emphasizing the catastrophically high level of risk incomparable with the level of economic benefits which promises to make this consumer decision. And 10th is excessive concentration on money in the short term, which prevents a constant gradual increase in their own wealth in the long run. The most popular applications are the most automated. They sort cost by category and the end of each month, and unfortunately only make this worse as they cannot be used to plan a budget. And the main problem that can be identified, most of these programs have only one language, which significantly limits the range of potential user. And the most powerful of such applications are either targeted at English-speaking audiences or having only a Russian language interface, don't provide a free version. To develop an information system for personal finance management is designed to solve existing problems by maximizing the optimization of existing functions of such systems. It is expected that the developed system for personal finance control will help the user to optimize their costs and reduce them through proper budget planning and tips that the system will periodically provide. Also, with the help of financial goals, the user will be able to save money and save much more efficiently. The use of the application makes it unnecessary to involve third-party specialists. For example, the services of a financial assistant can be replaced by the use of such system, which is also a significant saving of money and time. Such a system accustoms users to control the self-organizations and forms a habit of conscious spending. Similar traits can be transferred to other areas of life, which will improve the quality of daily processes. UML diagram of intelligent information system presents of corporate system precedents of corporate finance, accounting, and analysis is shown in figure 1. It consists of an actor, a user of the system. Anyone with access to an account can be user because the developed system provides multi-threading, and number of users who use the system at the same time is unlimited. In addition, several users can be simultaneously perform operations on the same data set without compatibility errors. As a result of these queries, the system conducts accounting and analysis of corporate finances, generates recommendations, generates a report, and sends it to the user. The main window of the program will display a list of costs, allows you to delete and item implemented in the following classes. New main, finally adapt, main application, main activity, new draw item, diagram, title filter, cat list adapter. The main program window contains a drop-down menu with the following items: home, add new, statistic, plan, budget, add goal, settings. These points are mostly fulfilled by fragments and activities. Each of them has own logic and functions. Our program, the main window, displays the current balance, as well as income and expenses for the current month can be changed in the settings. Below is a squeak of recent expenses by date. Also, on the main page, there is an add button which redirects to the page with the addition of an entry. Here, select the amount, date, and category to which the record belongs. You can also add a new category directly from the window. This can be done directly from the settings. One of the most important functions is statistics. It should be clear, understandable, and as complete as possible. This is realized by a pie chart. This will display the period month, which is clickable and variable, as well as the ability to choose statistic by category. Circles a sector, which is also clickable, opens the history of cost by category. The system checks the entered data and issues errors on blank or incorrect fields. So, for example, when adding a new record of the cost, the user forgot to enter the amount of the cost, the system will give him the appropriate message. The system also has input restrictions for the corresponding fields. Thus, in the fields where you can enter only numbers and the period, the system shows the appropriate keyboard, and the user cannot physically enter incorrect data. This software product has the functions of adding a new record without viewing costs, history, category statistics, deleting and editing records, budget planning, setting financial saving goals, and getting tips on better financial planning and accounting. To achieve these results, the Java programming language and the Android Studio programming environment were used. And as the conclusions, the aim of this work was to design and develop an information system for personal financial management, which would allow system users to have constant access to statistics of their expenses and have a tool for planning their finances in order to improve and optimize their costs. The main requirements were a user-friendly interface and assistance to be the user in the personal accounting. The system was expected to educate users through statistics and cost history. It was designed and implemented the necessary functionality to solve problems of personal finance management in existing solutions. Functions of adding a new record, viewing cost history, statistics by category, deleting and editing records, budget planning, setting financial targets for accumulation and advice on better planning and accounting. That's all. Thanks for your attention.
Thank you so much. So maybe there are some questions for our author.
Yes, if you let me, I would like to ask, because it's interesting for me, my topic. Your research is concentrated only around the planning of personal finance. Have you thought about possibility to add to this application are the components of personal finance management, such like investments, such like savings? Is it possible to connect it together, or it's just a possibility to calculate your spendings and to calculate your income?
Thanks for your question. And on this time, this is only just calculation, but I think in the next step we'll be doing something like you said.
It would be really interesting because many people don't know such possibilities. So recommendation for future.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks a lot, Olha. Thanks a lot, Andriy. Maybe more questions? Okay, Andriy, there are no